Oh, coming at you from the ATX, it's the Box to Box Radio podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Mason Carmichael. To my right, Mr. Travis Carmichael. To my left, Travis A-Day. Across from me, looking sleepy because we're burning the midnight oil here, guys. Producer Chris Hernandez. Guys, we're back. It's Memorial Day. Happy holiday to y'all. We're off. We're going to be watching some footy. But guys, just want to give a couple quick shout outs before we dive in here. I want to give a shout out to our music provider, Sincerely Yours, of course, a local Austin band here. Y'all go give him a listen. Follow him on Instagram at sincerely_yours_music. And guys, of course, give us a follow on our social media platforms as well. Our Twitter is B_B_radio. Instagram, box_radio. Facebook, really easy, Box to Box Radio. And of course, the easiest way to reach us for all your questions, comments, and reactions is our email address, 90min@boxtoboxradio.com. Guys, we are currently on a lot of streaming platforms for you. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and we're actually now currently on YouTube as well. And then you guys know we're on Stitcher too. But lads, I'm done with my spiel here. We got it out of the way early. I'm excited for a lot of the action we saw this weekend. A lot of big upsets, a lot of great drama that happened. Guys, one word to describe your emotions right now. All right, that's it. That's your word. All right.
Count. No.
Was his word. A-Day, what you got?
I'm excited. Excited because...
I'm is his word. These guys don't understand the premise of the game, folks.
I'm okay. Excited.
Okay, there it is.
Excited because basically we have a whole summer of just MLS.
Oh man, wow, his bread and butter. What gets him out of bed in the morning?
I'm sorry, is the Women's World Cup not happening this summer?
I'm talking domestic soccer here, Trav.
Good clarification, Trav.
Is the women's team not domestic? Anyway.
Yeet.
Yeah, Carmichael, I'll give you a redo on your word. I'll give you a redo.
Sensational.
Ooh, why sensational?
Because I hate Barcelona.
Oh man, foreshadowing, folks.
Yeah, go on, producer Chris, give me some.
That's like the Marvel clip at the end of the movie.
I was also alluding to that because all the European leagues are over, especially Barcelona's season.
Yeah, that's fair, but it's Liverpool's fault, as always. Guys,
I disagree.
Ask Lionel Messi. Guys, I'm feeling exuberant because it's another day, another dollar, back in the studio, back in the kitchen, cooking up some hot takes for you here. Guys, a lot of action, as I alluded to in the intro this weekend. I want to start with some very, very sad and very, very long-awaited news here stateside. Mr. A-Day, one of your favorite players of all time, one of your favorite national team and MLS defenders, Mr. Chad Marshall, finally hung up his boots.
Absolutely.
After a storied career in which he won 2 MLS Cups. I believe he won an Open Cup as well, and then 3 MLS Defender of the Year awards, which, of course, Stefan Fry came out with a tweet that said, Chad Marshall, MLS Defender of the Year award, which, of course, I think they should name it that because that guy's just a legend.
I think so as well. To add to that, he was a 4-time Best 11, 4-time All-Star, 2-time MLS Cup winner. He also won the Supporters' Shield 4 times as well. 16-year career. He did it in 1 league. He forewent the opportunity to maybe go abroad straight out of college. And he's probably a guy who was plagued by injury kind of at the wrong time. I wish he would have got a bigger shout with the national team. He was capped a handful of times, but not in the meaningful moments that I would have liked to see him. But a legend, definitely in the MLS ranks and the U.S. soccer ranks, and he's hanging out the boots, effective immediately. He had a little trouble getting back from a knee injury this season, and he just decided to call it good, and he's had his time here in MLS, and yeah, sad to see him go, and I definitely do think the award should be named after him. The only 3-time winner in the history of the league. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you look at someone that you say is like a league journeyman, played for Seattle, played for Columbus as well. just a rock for so many years and an unbelievable defender, also an unbelievable professional. So I would have no problem with the league naming that as their Defender of the Year award. Great guy. Unfortunate to see, like you said, it's amazing he had such a long career with him being so injured. But great leader, great player, and definitely, I think he personally would be really good at the coaching side of it. So it's interesting to see if he takes a coaching role moving forward.
Yeah, I agree, guys. This is a great picture floating around Twitter as well of the draft class where it's a picture of Clint Dempsey looking like Jim Halpert, Chad Marshall, and then in the middle looking like a 13-year-old. He looks like Ben Savage from Boy Meets World. Ned Grabavoy right in the middle.
Oh, man.
He looks like he just got his lunch money taken. He's on his way to the math club or something like that. But guys, really, really sad to see him retire, but also a happy moment to celebrate such a great career from Chad Marshall. Guys, I want to hint on this real quick before we move on to the games from this weekend, but I don't think we ever talked about this, which is a really, really big piece of news. So it has been announced by both Daniele De Rossi and Roma that he will not be returning to the only club he has ever played for, not based on his decision, but on the club's decision to not extend his contract and offer him another year. He said he will not retire. He's coming up on 35 years old. He said he at least wants to play for another year.
MLS,
yeah, maybe? MLS is touted to be his number one destination. He said he will not play for another club in Italy at all. He said the Premier League is somewhere that's always interested in him, and as well as MLS. And so, guys, was this the right move from Roma?
From a strictly business standpoint, yes, because he's on the wrong side of 35. And he's just kind of getting there, and he's a little slower, and the mobility part of the game is a big factor. I mean, he can defend, he's a good leader, but he becomes more of a liability. So from a business standpoint, yes. However, I think from like an ethics standpoint, no, man, like that sucks. Like that's unfortunate. Yeah. And I would have given him one more year as like a locker room guy, and then also maybe tried again, like a Chad Marshall. I think he would be great at the coaching side of the game, and maybe trying to bring in like Per Mertesacker for Arsenal and give him the youth academy or something like that.
Yeah, I also think that, it doesn't matter what you pay him either. Like you can say,
he's a club guy. He would have said signed.
Like, here's $5 and a chicken sandwich. Like, do you want to come play for us again? He would have been like, hey, thanks for throwing in the chicken sandwich. Like, like great guy. He bleeds Roma red. Like, he's a guy right up there with Francesco Totti. He's still got some game too. I mean, he's looked good this season for them. It baffles me that they didn't extend his contract. Like, I imagine a lot of diehard fans in the capital are really, really upset about that. But guys, I want to kind of segue us into our next topic here. So we talked about De Rossi, we talked about Roma. Travis Carmichael, I know you watched a lot of Italian League soccer today. It was the conclusion of the Serie A season. A lot on the line. A lot of relegation, a lot of European spots up for grabs. What kind of stood out to you from the day's action?
So there's some crazy results, but basically going into the weekend, you had tied on 66 points each was in third place Atalanta, in fourth place Inter Milan, in fifth place with 65 points was AC Milan, and then in sixth place with 63 points was Roma. Obviously, the top four make the Champions League, so interesting, some good matchups. If you would have told me before the show and said, hey, all four of these teams are going to win, I would have called you absolutely crazy. But I 100%, would have said, definitely not. They're not all going to win. I thought both Milans were going to drop points, maybe Atlanta as well. And I thought Roma would pick up a win. But all four teams won. So congratulations to Atalanta. Not really a Champions League team from the past. We don't think of them as a Champions League team, but they've deserved it. They're going. They finished in third place with 69 points. Also with 69 points, Inter Milan held on. They won.
That was a nuts game, by the way.
It was insane. They ended up. They were up 2-1. They sent the goalkeeper. They scored a third goal. It got called back for VAR because they fouled the goalkeeper on the way back to the goal.
Yeah,
Second
Balde
yellow,
Keita,
red card. Still hung on 2-1. AC Milan won as well. They move up to fifth with 68 points, and then Roma won with 66 points, finishing in 6th place.
Yeah, that Inter game was so nuts because Empoli got relegated. Like they
Yes.
needed to win or else they would have gotten relegated. Or draw, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Kivo has been dropped down for a long time, 17 points. Then Frisona has 25 points. They're down as well. And then Empoli tied on points with Genoa and lose out on goal
Well,
differential.
1 point would have done it for him.
1 point would have done it for them. So that goal at the end would
Insane.
have done it for them. And they just couldn't get it done. So they go down. But yeah, I mean, the Serie A, other than the title race, has been
Very exciting.
extremely exciting, potentially most exciting in a long time. And obviously you look at Napoli finished second with 79 points, didn't really even come close to Juve, but was head and shoulders above everybody else. But I think the biggest story is Atalanta getting Champions League. That's insane. I think that's something we never would have predicted.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good shout for Atalanta. Have they ever qualified for the Champions League before?
I don't know. I think so. And if they haven't,
If it has, it's been a very long time.
Yeah, Serie A fans, give us a shout out on Twitter or something and let us know because we want to hear from you on that, the experts, not just three dudes sitting around some microphones speculating. Guys, huge action this weekend in Serie A. I got the ESPN Plus notification. Shout out to the Plus. Tell me there were 6 different games with implications today, so that was insane.
Also, I think the biggest surprise for me is obviously we know Inter Milan and AC Milan are very hot and cold. You never know. It depends on the year. They're very up and down. I know Inter Milan are looking at bringing in Conte as the manager, trying to work out certain deals there. I know AC Milan still have Gattuso at the helm, so we'll see. We'll see if he stays. But Roma, man, I never would have thought Roma would finish 6th if you look at the teams with the quality they have. And obviously, Claudio Ranieri, the coach currently, but he's already said he's going to step down at the end of the season.
Apparently, we're not talking about the Champions League for
Not
them.
talking about the Champions League, man. But no, he took over it from an interim basis, and now he's gone. So Roma definitely going to do, obviously with De Rossi leaving as well, going to do an identity shift. So we'll see how they can cope with that. But again, Atalanta, great result, and they deserve it.
Yeah, I completely agree, guys. So a lot of Serie A action. If you have ESPN Plus, go back. They'll have all the highlights up. We love that app a lot. It's
A lot of red cards this weekend
a lot
as well.
of red cards. Yeah.
So gotta love Italian soccer.
Yeah, ESPN Plus, $4.99 a month. You can go on there and watch all the highlights from the Italian League, from all the action from the final weekend. So, guys, that was really, really, really great there. Moving on to a lot of the drama that happened this weekend. A little birdie told me, and that little birdie was watching it on TV, Barcelona lost to Valencia 2-1.
Little bird is correct.
In the Copa del Rey final. And guys, before we jump into the score and everything in this game, Lionel Messi was denied probably the filthiest goal I've ever seen in my entire life.
That would have been... Ooh.
So he gets on the ball, shimmies his hips one way to make Gaia, the left back, commit, cuts back inside on his left foot, outside of the left foot, hits it off of the top V of the bar.
Goalkeeper didn't have a prayer.
It was beautiful. Like, oh man, he was robbed. Matthew Doyle on Twitter is a huge Lionel Messi guy, and he was all about that almost goal. But almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and goal differential. So that's the only 3 things that almost only counts in. So that's it.
Yeah, this game was interesting. Obviously, Valencia go 2-0 up on Barcelona in the 21st. Gamero gets one, and then Rodrigo in the 33rd gets one. They go 2-0 up. Barcelona get one back. Messi steals one. It's a header that ends up off the post, and Messi scores the easiest goal in his life, the tap in.
Like called the Mason goal on FIFA.
Oh, that's Alejandro Moreno range from ESPN FC. That's, Alejandro Moreno range. He always says this from my range, so shout out to him. Like you said, that the goal Messi should have scored, it hit the post, was just filthy. He lays it off to the center forward. The center forward lays it back. He acts like he's going to chip it outside. He pops it up over the defender, but he acts like he's going to go outside and ends up chipping it inside. He chips it inside, steps outside, then cuts back across. The defender's spinning like a top, and he hits it off the volley and just smashes the post.
Magisterial.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Guys, as much as I am a Messi fan, I'm not as big a Messi fan as a lot of people in the world. I think Trav agrees with me. But what else can this man do? Obviously, there's no Ter Stegen. Obviously, there's no Luis Suarez due to injury.
Yeah, but Jasper Cillesen's still like a really, really good goalkeeper. He starts for the Dutch national team. He's good.
Yikes. He's okay. But, like, Messi, what else could he do in this game, man? Like, they're just like, this is what kills me about Barcelona. And if you're a Barcelona fan, this is why I don't like you, because whenever in the world has defending been optional? I just don't understand. Both goals, it's just they just fall asleep, and it's like they can't be bothered to mark the guy 3 feet from him, Gerard Piqué. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's my biggest argument against La Liga is just the defending, just overall,
It's
is
just pedestrian.
atrocious.
It's pedestrian.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe I'll defend. If not, then Messi. Like, Barcelona is relying on Messi to score a hat trick. It's like, oh, Messi will score more goals. We don't have to defend. It's not going to happen.
Right.
He's getting older.
My biggest argument is that this Barcelona team has made several excuses all season.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
So Messi this past week was interviewed about winning the Golden Boot not only in Europe but in Spain for like the millionth time. And when they asked him about it, he's like, I'm not concerned about this season or the Champions League season. My mind is in Liverpool.
I mean, that's
Like,
fair.
get over it.
So
She moved on, bro. She's dating someone else.
this is my biggest thing is, and by the way, Valverde's gone. He is, they're going to sack him like a big bag of potatoes, baby. He's gone. He's out of here. You cannot be a coach at the top level and consistently in big games get outmanaged tactically. You just can't. You cannot set up a team tactically and say, what's your tactics? Our
Yeah.
tactics is to give Messi the ball and hope he scores 1 million goals.
Yeah. Pass to
Eventually,
the Italians
you
can't be
have
your,
to
your
have
number one.
some sort of tactical analysis to change the game. And again and again and again, he gets tactically outmatched every single game.
Yeah.
Every single big game.
And I've told you guys this before, like, talent can't mask tactics. So it doesn't matter if you have the most talented group of guys on the field in the entire world. If there is not a single solid plan, then they're going to be outclassed. And we saw that against Liverpool. Barca obviously had the more talented team on the day. If you look at international pedigree and, you know, goal scorers, stuff like that, had Suarez and Messi up front. Like, these guys are legends. But Liverpool had a plan. They were tactically sound, and they came out and executed.
disciplined, worked hard. Like, it's just things in the game that, like, we talk about this a lot, is like your job at the top level is not as a coach. You are a manager. You have to instill certain values in your players. And if you let your players go out there, oh, it's just a Sunday league kick around and I can't be bothered to defend, then what's the point? You don't deserve to have a job at the top level.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And like Mason said, yeah, work rate and tactics can overshadow a lot of lack of skill. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, guys. So, yep. Sorry, Barcelona. You guys are garbage this season, I guess.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
not sorry.
exactly.
It's finally time that people wake up and
Yeah, who
realize you have to
cares?
defend.
Yeah, Leo, you can come to Merseyside, but you're going to have to beat out Mo. So
Wow.
we'll see. We got to prove it on the
Delusional.
Got to prove it at Melwood and beat out Shach.
The Prem's too physical for him.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm leaving that one alone.
That's an away leg. We'll touch on that one later, boys. We don't have the time to get into that right now. But enough of the Copa del Rey. That's done and dusted. DFB Pokal 3-0 thrashing. Bayern Munich beat Leipzig. Sorry, Tyler Adams. Hopefully you got the revenge game going on in the Gold Cup this summer. I mean, guys, not much to say on this one. Lewa with the first goal, and then it kind of went downhill from there for Leipzig.
Yeah, actually, this one's really interesting because Leipzig should have gone up 1-0. Neuer was very good on the day. He kept his team in it. And then, obviously, it went downhill. Lewandowski in the 29th, Kingsley Coman in the 78th, and then Lewandowski again in the 85th. This one was difficult to watch because, for whatever reason, the TV rights, they decided that Bayern Munich were going to wear red tops, white shorts, white socks, and Leipzig were going to wear white shirt, red shorts, red socks. So,
Oh, man.
So it was like they wore the exact same thing, just like it was
Just
weird.
the opposite. Wow.
It was hard, but I mean, Bayern were better. Leipzig were better at first, but I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where Bayern Munich are playing a certain way and a certain style that they've never really played before. They're playing in a way where they kind of sit in and they do kind of a lot of counter work. So there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, you're winning trophies. You're winning, the domestic double. You're not very successful in the Champions League. You haven't been in a long time. I think since they lost in the final to Chelsea that they hosted, they haven't really been that successful in the Champions League. Producer Chris, stop it. You got lucky. Drogba got lucky.
He just hit the whoa here in the studio.
Stop. So here's my question to you guys, similar to kind of Valverde, is at a certain level as a coach.
You asking if Kovac is going to get fired?
Yeah, because you have to.
No.
But the fans, I think, expect to play a certain way. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's a very good coach, but he's playing in a different system where it's not he's not going and attacking the game and trying to be the dominant side. He's trying to sit in and invite pressure and counter.
But they won 2 trophies this year.
No, I know they did, but like there are a lot of
you can't
Bayern,
but you can't fire guys for winning 2 trophies.
There are a lot of people in Germany that are saying, I don't really know if we like the style of play as like a Bayern Munich elitist, as like this is not the teams of old and this is not how Bayern are supposed to play.
Cry me a river, you're winning games. Who cares?
I agree. The same culture always stays the same, but the playing style, I feel like that can change. It has to evolve with the age of the game. Soccer is definitely becoming much faster sport, so I think definitely tactics have to evolve with that. As long as they're winning games, I don't think the fans have too much to complain about.
I mean, far be it from me. I'm never going to complain about style. Whatever style works. Look, it's a game of a million styles, but I'm just saying it's interesting how some people in Germany want to play a specific way and they don't think that this system fits the Bayern Munich system of old.
Exactly. And I think that everyone that's thinking that way is in the wrong.
That's called privilege.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
It's true. Cry.
You must be a
you're
Dortmund
winning.
fan.
Congratulations. No,
You a
I'm
Dortmund
not.
fan?
I'm a Liverpool fan.
By the way, oh man, Dortmund's done some work in the transfer window, haven't they?
Oh, man. Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. Nico Schultz, Julian Brandt,
And
Torgan Hazard.
Hazard,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been
the
phenomenal
better of
for
the
them.
2 Hazards. Chris.
Yeah, they're spending that Pulisic money.
the glare he just gave me.
They don't
I'm
call
kidding.
him Torgen for nothing. Of course, Tor means goal in German.
It does. Well done.
So
yeah, that's
I
correct.
saw that on the the Borussia Dortmund Twitter account. But yeah, guys, great signings. I think Dortmund's going to be great. Nico Schultz, of course, left back. They got him from Hoffenheim. Julian Brandt, Leverkusen. He can play on the wing or in the middle. And then, of course, Torgan Hazard, mostly a winger, but can play as a number 10 as well. So really, really excited for what's going to happen with Dortmund this season.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, look, the more people that spend money and, Bayern has got to find a way to get back at the elite level. It's hard, like we talk about with some of the top clubs, like a Juventus, like a Bayern, like a Barcelona, like a Madrid. You're not judged based on your domestic success. You're expected to win the league, and then you're expected to do well in the Champions League. So anybody that can kind of try to sneak up on Bayern and try to steal the trophy from them, I'm about it.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that Dortmund is reloading for next season. They barely missed out on championship this season.
Yeah, it was a proper title fight this year.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm glad to see that they're not just scrapping it all, that they're continuing to try to build for next season. They're already bringing in top talent.
Yeah,
So.
and also if you look at, they were talking about this from social media as well, is you already have the assist leader in Jadon Sancho, and these guys both had, I think, 13 and 10, and Jadon Sancho won it with 15, I think.
Yeah.
So you have the 3 top assist guys in the league all for one team, and then you have a good striker, and you got some good goal scorers. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, a lot of competition for those midfield spots this year. So it'll be interesting to keep your eye on that one. Guys, I want to come over to a game that I am kind of in awe of. I don't know what to think because we're probably going to get a really, really good second season of Sunderland Till I Die. But Sunderland, of course, in the playoffs today lost 2-1 to Charlton Athletic, and the only goal, the only goal that was scored by Sunderland was an own goal. It was one of the worst own goals you'll ever see. But guys, Sunderland staying in League One, one of the biggest clubs in England, most storied clubs. I mean, their fans are diehard. Like, they're not going to get to go up. I mean,
That's hard, but I think they're definitely a step in the right direction. I think with the new ownership, and you kind of look at the show, talked about this a lot, but each had an old ownership that's like, why am I spending more money? I'm not spending more money. And the fans are like, please spend money. Like, we care.
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah. FC Dallas. I just think that it's a step in the right direction. Obviously you want to go up and you're devastated you don't go up. But I mean, at the same time, it's a really positive when, in the past 2 seasons, they were both relegated. So to go from 2 seasons in a row to be relegated to being in the promotion fight and being 1 goal away, as heartbreaking as it is, the fans need to look at it as a positive. You have, good ownership that wants to be involved and spend money. You have, a good coaching staff, and hopefully I think in the next 5 years they're coming back up.
I just can't see them going back up to the Prem. I think they'll get back.
I think they'll do it. They will do it.
They'll get back into the championship, and they'll kind of float around in the championship for a while, but I don't see them getting back up to the Premier League.
I have faith. The show will be great. The show will make them money. They will go up.
So for them to get back into the Prem in the next 5 years, I don't think they could do back-to-back promotions.
No, I don't either. That's almost impossible.
Yeah, that would be very difficult.
The team that just won the League Two playoff did that. They got promoted into League Two and then up today. They won at Wembley. So I can't remember the team name, but they were saying it's one of the first teams to get promoted 2 years in a row. It was pretty insane.
Oh, interesting.
It's Mike Dean's team. Mike Dean is there. So they saw him on camera just celebrating. It's like,
they all had the charter bus up. They all had like Mike Dean masks on. It was really funny.
Oh, man. I don't know if 5 years is a bit too soon for them. I think it's going to be a long shot still, especially with the ownership coming out and saying that they're not going to spend more money until they start to see results. So definitely the getting to Wembley is a sign of progress. I'm looking forward to season 2 of Sunderland Till I Die.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is just the bow that wraps up this whole Sunderland season. They interviewed a fan after the game, and he said, it's not the 90 minutes that is so saddening. It's the 4 years that led up to it.
Yep. Oh, no, 100%. I mean,
so
you can't. Yeah, it's hard, and like I said, it's if you watch the show, and I don't mean to talk about the pain of Sunderland fans because I mean it's hard, but like if you watch the show, it's almost like a joke, man. It's like a FIFA career that goes wrong. Like you just like every possible thing that goes wrong. Like in all seriousness, it just goes wrong, and it's just like okay, we have no more money, but we barely have enough players. How are we going to solve the problem? So they're like loaning people out and trying to sell people to sell a great player to bring in 5 decent players. And it's just, it's a nightmare, man.
Yeah, guys. So we're going to move on here now. Of course, we had our good friend Joel Carlos write us in last week. Why aren't we giving enough Liga MX content on the show? Why aren't we talking about Tigres? Well, guess what, baby?
Vamos, Tigres!
The Clausura champions, Tigres, they won the home leg against Leon on Thursday night, 1-0. The reverse leg in Leon. Shout out to Rigoberto Rodriguez. He flew to Leon to watch the final. Do you know why? Because he's a diehard. He's not one of you casuals, one of you plastics out there. He's committed. And guess what? For good reason, because they tied 0-0, which means on aggregate 1-0. They are your Clausura champions. Vamos Tigres.
Vamos, Gignac.
Yeah. So, and they did it without Gignac playing a lot of the playoffs because he's been injured.
Yes, that's true. I mean, but also, Tigres are stacked. You look at Vargas. You look at Eder Valencia.
The Quinones.
Yeah. You look. They're stacked.
Jurgen Damm as well plays for them.
And then also you have Leon though were the top seed, and they had the top undefeated record, the most consecutive wins in Liga MX ever throughout the season. I think it was 12. I think it was 12 in a row.
Yeah,
consecutive wins.
And you're looking at a very rare occasion in the world of football. The 1 seed played the 2 seed in the final.
Also,
which very rarely happens in playoffs.
I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Liga MX is ruling that if you tie on aggregate, the top seed goes through.
Oh,
it doesn't go to overtime.
Yeah,
that's I like
that's
that.
A very weird thing.
It rewards the regular season, or else the regular season.
They need to start doing that in
worthless.
MLS.
I agree. The regular season is worthless. It takes all the games you played, and it's pointless. Because it's 2 legs, so there's no real home field advantage. You get home second, but there's no real home field advantage. So I like it.
Yeah, that is one way to reward the success of the regular season.
Or else you play 30 games for nothing.
Right. Yeah, I just don't know. I haven't wrapped my head around that fully. I think it's something to look at. I like what they do in the Copa America when they go straight to penalties. I do like that instead of just extra time. But yeah, I'm not fully on board with that. So
think what you want. I agree with it.
I don't know. It's just a weird concept to me.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Mexico does everything a little different. They divide the season into a winter and a spring and whatever. So
more trophies, more money, more beer money, more advertisements, more finals, more fans. What's not to love?
Yeah, their jerseys already look like a NASCAR anyway. So
wow.
You're just jealous that you don't have a jersey. Someone please buy him a Liga MX jersey.
No, I'm jealous of their spending power.
Yeah, I mean,
to be quite honest. So
shout out to SKC getting thwacked by
11 DPs and
By
and
Monterrey.
7 TAM players.
yeah, fair enough.
All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry listeners, I'm sorry this turned into an MLS rant again. But,
Shocking.
You know, it's in our blood. We grew up going to games. Sue us. That you've got no grounds. We'll see you in court. But guys, I got a couple more things if we got time. If not, just one more. But we'll see how long this national team talks take. So the U20s played Ukraine in the opening game of the U20 World Cup for them. Not a favorable result. They lost 2-1, and in all honesty, they thoroughly deserve to lose 2-1, I believe, from watching the game. I think Tab Ramos got the tactics all wrong because in qualifying, he started with a prototypical number 9 in Sebastian Soto, who has been pretty good for the U.S. In this one, he lined Tim Weah up as the 9 with Pamacol and De La Fuente flanking him, with the sole purpose of having the front 3 interchange, and Tim Weah was a specter up top. He was awful. He was terrible as a 9. They moved him wide for the second half, and he looked a lot better, but of course that puts Paxton Pamacol as your striker, and dude's not a striker.
Yeah, I think there were some bright spots. I think, look, I don't think Weah was poor. I think Weah didn't get enough service. I just think they struggled to get Weah the ball, and to the point where he had to come so deep,
but he
get
wasn't
the ball.
Even when he got the ball in the middle, though, he was bereft of ideas because
he gets the ball and he's 60 yards from the goal.
But when you think about Tim Weah, like what's his number one strength as a player?
He can go at players 1v1,
1-on-1, and if you play as a hold up number 9, stereotypical number 9, it's not where your strength is utilized.
No, I agree. But
so
even
he was
when
great on the wing.
But even when he shifted out wide, he didn't get the ball enough. He had to come so deep because we just couldn't get him the ball.
Yeah.
I thought Paxton was very good.
He should have played in the midfield.
Yeah, I think who is the 6?
Chris Durkin.
I like Chris Durkin a lot. I think he's good. I like Chris Durkin. I would prefer to be honest, I'd prefer to see him at center back. I think he could play center back. I think the center backs were soft for us. I think Keita was soft.
Keita, I think they really missed Mark McKenzie in this one.
Yeah, I mean the captain.
Definitely. I thought it was funny to see Edwin Cerrillo. He's come out of nowhere, but he did start the last friendly that they had before the tournament. I was surprised to not see him in the starting lineup for this match. And like you were saying, if you drop Durkin back to the back line, Cerrillo can slide in there. And he's already very familiar with Pamacol and Cervenia in there, as well as Chris Richards. So I think he would mesh better with the current group. It was a game where the U.S. tried to dictate possession, but they didn't really do too much with the ball, like we talk about. They finished the match with 67% possession.
Which means absolutely
nothing.
Which does my head in.
Yeah, anyway... Yeah, the 5 shots on target, only one conversion. I just don't know.
I mean, the Mendes kid was pretty good though. I like.
I
like him. He's good.
Yeah, he was very
clever.
Good.
He was a very bright spot.
I kind of disagree with that.
I thought he was the most threatening player going forward in the second half.
You have to do everything for him and get him the ball in the right area. He's not going to create anything on his own.
I disagree. I thought he was very clever on the ball. He created 3 chances.
He's a very one-way player though.
He created the most chances.
But he's not going to do any help for you on defense. And when you're playing a 4-3-3 with their wingers pushed up that high, it killed us in the middle. We lost the midfield battle.
Yeah, but he created the most chances. So
did he score a goal?
He should have scored. But I thought he
should have scored.
I thought he was a bright spot. I thought he was better going forward than Tim Weah because he got the ball more than Tim Weah.
Yeah, I want to see an FC Dallas midfield 3 of Cerrillo, Pamacol, and Cervenia. I think they would be the best midfield 3. I want to see Weah, Soto, and De La Fuente up front. And the back line I liked a lot. I would put in Mark McKenzie instead of...
he was out due to injury.
Yeah, instead of Abubakar Keita.
Yeah.
And then Serginho Dest, not a fan. Give me Julian Araujo.
Who was the other center back, remind me?
Chris Richards.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I didn't think he was very good. I thought he was soft.
He was better. He was the best of the two.
You just look at both center backs, and I mean, obviously 2 set pieces from Ukraine, but
but that's what they were missing. Mark McKenzie's
he's the captain,
he's
and
the glue.
I agree, but I mean, they just both look just you looked at him and it's just like, oh, they're up against it a little bit.
I'm going to disagree with you guys on Chris Durkin. I know a lot of people.
I thought he was good. I thought he was very good.
Wait. I know a lot of people are very high on Chris Durkin and they think he's a great player. He moves the ball too slow.
Yeah, I agree with you.
His
which
first
is why
touch
I
is
think,
kind of sloppy. He moves the ball too slow.
I think he's tough. He works very hard. I think I'd like to see him at center back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where his future is and his ceiling. Like, I'm surprised that because he's a DC United player, I'm surprised they haven't tried to fit him in next to Birnbaum.
I agree with you. I think he moves the ball way too slow to be a 6.
Yeah, I think he could be a good center back with Birnbaum in that pairing and kind of give him a little run out there because even this season in MLS, when they start him as the 6, he's just too slow in possession.
But he's big, strong. He works incredibly hard. So I think center back when he's on the ball less and has more time.
Yeah,
It'll be better.
I could totally agree with that.
Because I mean, like I said, I thought both center backs were just. I mean, the second goal, the game-winning goal, the corner, it was just.
Yeah,
it wasn't touch tight. It was just the guy just waltzes in and heads the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I even thought maybe that the goalkeeping was.
Yeah, Brady Scott was not great.
It was the best.
Yeah, he just kind of stood there and watched it go in. Like you at least got to throw an arm out there, man.
So
come on.
This is why, because. I think it's a proper step for the U.S. in not having any college players on the roster. I think that's a big step. I think it's one of the best U20 teams in a long time, other than the Zach Steffen team that made the semifinal.
Right, right.
This is my biggest thing: is you have to have your best U20 players possible play in this competition. So why in the world, for me, because this Gold Cup is not that important, why is Tyler Adams not in this side? I don't get it.
Because Gold Cup is important.
But not as important as the U20 World Cup. This Gold Cup, because this Gold Cup is not the Confederations qualifier.
We've talked about this before. You're taking a guy that is way, 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 way above the level. That is a written in pen starter on the national team. And you're going to look at him and say, hey, I know you're going to get a lot of looks for your personal career at the Gold Cup, but you're 19. We're going to make you play with the U20s. That's stupid.
I think realistically, these are players that you hope at least that he could play with moving forward in the future. This is a generational thing. You bring him in as a captain. He's the leader. He gets to take a better role. He's playing a lot of minutes.
He's playing a lot of minutes for the first team.
I know.
You have 8 years to integrate those guys before 2026.
I know.
You have 8 years.
I think it would be valuable.
Obviously, this is a very good squad for the U20s, but they have obviously the previous was that in 2015?
Yeah.
When Steffen was there, they went.
Steffen, Cameron Carter-Vickers,
Kellen Acosta was in that group as well.
Was Emerson Hyndman there?
Yeah, he was. He was. I believe. Yeah, they made the quarterfinals and got knocked out by Serbia, the eventual winners.
They did.
Yeah, shout out to Veljko Paunovic.
Yeah, Chicago Fire head coach led them to victory there. I believe it was 3 straight cycles before. I think it was 11, 09, 07. The U20s, they all won their groups. So it's not like we've had bad teams before in the U20s. It's just, you just got to look at the sample size. So obviously, maybe talent-wise, this is a good team, but they're not winning games, then it doesn't matter in the end.
Right, yeah.
And we talked about this on a previous show that I talked about was Berhalter definitely wanting to make a good impact on his first Gold Cup.
I definitely agree on that.
And I think that is the one glaring issue that kept Tyler Adams away from this. And you also look at with the Olympics, a lot of big name players. You look at like a Neymar or a Lionel Messi that have gone to play in the Olympics, even though that they were already getting first team minutes with the full national team, just because they wanted that experience. It was their probably only opportunity to play in the Olympics. I look at this U20 World Cup a lot like that, and I think that, in my opinion, that Tyler Adams should be here.
I agree because I think it's almost like you're penalizing Tyler Adams and saying you're really good, so you don't get to play. But in your competition, you have to go play in the top.
Right.
Do you not think that conversation's been had with Tyler?
I mean, it probably has.
Do you not think Tyler's
I don't blame Tyler Adams for being like, why I'm going to go to the Gold Cup? Why would I go there?
It's beneath him.
But we don't know. We don't know if it's Berhalter's decision. And if it's Tyler Adams saying like, hey, like I want to go, and Berhalter's like, well, I really need you for the Gold Cup. We just don't know.
I just think it's more valuable for his development to play against guys that are at his level and not drop down and boss.
I think for one tournament, it doesn't necessarily matter that much. And I think it would be more valuable to the federation as a whole because, like I said, if you win the Gold Cup, that's great. If you win the U20 World Cup, the conversation begins and it's like, oh, the U.S. is doing very well with the youth development. And I think that's a big thing, and that will kind of spark kind of a youth revolution in the game, if that makes sense.
I think you're picking the wrong player.
Who else would you pick?
Josh Sargent.
Yeah, but he's injured, isn't he?
No.
I thought he was injured.
He's
That's
on
why I didn't make
he's
the
on
roster.
the provisional Gold Cup roster. He's on
But he's
40-man
injured.
roster.
Wasn't he injured when they made the roster selection for the U20? I thought that was the reason why.
I do think I
think
see
that's
that
correct.
somewhere.
Yeah, but
If he's now
he
if,
was healthy before the start of the
if
tournament.
he is not injured and he is healthy, then absolutely he should be on the roster as well. But why one or the other? Why not both? That's what I'm saying is you should pick your
because
best
Josh Sargent isn't a
roster,
starter on the top 3 Bundesliga team.
But you should pick. I think you should pick your best U20 roster and send them if there's not a conflicting competition. That is more important. And I don't think this Gold Cup, because it's not the Confederations Cup qualifier, is more important.
But why would I make my B team the best that it can be if I could make my A team the best it could be?
It's not the B team. It's the
Yeah, it is.
it's a generation playing together that will play together in the future, and you're trying to get them to gel together.
But we also have to think
And you give players
shorter
an opportunity
term
to come
than-
be a leader.
But you also have to think shorter term than 2026 because 2022, those U20 guys aren't going to be ready. A lot of those guys aren't going to be on the final 24-man, 30-man roster that play in the World Cup.
There's a lot of truth.
Tyler
in that.
Adams will be.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that.
He's one of the best holding midfielders in Germany right now
That's fair. So
on a top 3 team that's going to play in Champions League next year.
Yeah.
And you're going to play him with the U20s.
More about Josh Sargent, I think it's more glaring that he wasn't with the U20s because he did captain the U.S. at the last U20 World Cup, and he won the silver boot.
yeah,
in the last tournament. So I think Tyler Adams, yeah, it would be nice to have him, but Josh Sargent definitely
Should have been with U20s
Definitely
now.
should have been with the U20s because he's not really in the first team.
he's not going to make
picture.
that big of an impact in the Gold Cup.
Right? Yeah, he's more of an 18, a 23-man squad guy,
Yes.
a role player, if you will. But yeah, I definitely think if he wasn't injured, I would like to see him here. So.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, guys, excited to see. So, of course, the next game in the group is against Nigeria coming up this week, and then we end our group stage against Qatar. Of course, the format is a little bit different for the U20 World Cup. There are 6 groups, 4 teams each. Top 2 teams from each group make it, and then the top 4 third-place teams make it to the next round as well. So the U.S. Theoretically probably only needs 4 points to get through, so a draw against Nigeria and a win against Qatar would, in theory, get us there because the last U20 World Cup, there were only 2 teams that finished with 4 points that did not make the next round. So we're looking for minimum 4 points here for us to get out of the group, but a lot to work on. Hopefully Mark McKenzie can get back fit and firing here as soon as possible. Guys, I got a parting closing question for you guys. So we like to talk about everything soccer here. And so I would be remiss if I didn't throw this in. I went and watched the Austin Bold game last night. It was a lot of fun.
Currently repping your Austin Bold jersey.
I'm wearing my
by the way.
Bold jersey out at the game. It was awesome. They played against New Mexico United. It was a pretty fun game. Guys, I think it's time in the United States we stop as a fan base stigmatizing the USL.
Yeah.
I think that it was a lot of fun. The quality of soccer was pretty high, especially, sorry, Bold fans, the New Mexico United team, who is in first place in their inaugural season in the Western Conference, by the way. They played beautiful 1-2 touch passing, great counterattacking. They had a couple guys that I was like, man, why aren't these guys playing at the top level? And it was just fun to watch. Like, I remember back in the day when USL used to be borderline collegiate soccer, kickball, and now they're actually getting the ball on the ground and playing. You see guys that had storied international careers coming over here and playing in the USL. And I think it's been something that's been really, really, really great going forward. And I'm really, really excited for the development of the league. And if you guys listening, and I think I'm the only one of the people here on the podcast that's been to a Bold game, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, go out to the Circuit of the Americas. It's a long drive, but it's worth the drive. You Anthem fans, don't think I'm forgetting about you guys as well. I am most excited because The Bold, of course, plays a very big Open Cup game on Wednesday night against San Antonio FC. I'm looking forward to when the Bold get to play Austin FC in the Open Cup and the bloodbath that's going to be, because I'm Team Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be brilliant. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the level's high or not. It's local soccer at a high, at a professional level. So it's going to be fun. The kids get to go out and watch the games. They get to see, good players. You have a lot of good players for both teams. Devin Sandoval was playing for New Mexico United.
Yeah, with
is
his
that correct?
dreads and his mustache,
Yeah,
man.
He used to play for Real Salt Lake. You have a lot of guys for, the Bold. I think the two center backs used to play in the MLS, Akugo and who's the other one, Mason?
Jermaine Taylor, but he did not play last night.
Okay. And you have obviously like a Sonny Guadarrama who played, in Liga MX for years and years and years. So you have a ton of great players, and I mean, it's good quality. So go watch, go support. You don't have to necessarily, Bold till you die, and that means you can't go watch Austin FC games either. Support local soccer in any context. It's good for the nation as a whole in terms of the soccer culture, and it's good for our identity as a country as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm all for the USL. A better lower leagues in the US definitely creates a better overall American soccer landscape. And then we can get into talking about, you guys might shoot me for this, but maybe Pro-Rel eventually.
Yeah, come on, Pro-Rel.
And even if it's
long way away. Very distant future.
But light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, I think maybe we might see an experiment from US soccer with just the USL landscape, because they have divided into the 3 leagues now. So I would like to see that eventually at some point.
I want to see El Tren banging in goals.
Oh yeah. USL is a great league. I've always favored them over now the antiquated NASL. But yeah, I'm definitely a fan of small local soccer. I grew up in Oklahoma, and getting the energy into Oklahoma City when I was just exiting high school was a big part of the economy there now, and they definitely have a big following. And they're in a nice historic stadium, and it's been good for the local youth players there in Oklahoma City. So I definitely like to see what they do with the youth academies and everything, and all the different smaller markets that USL is in.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. You get to have a lot of young players on MLS rosters go into these teams and do really well. You have a lot of aging professionals that are really good, and then some guys that are just kind of league journeymen. So, but also, like I said, support the local leagues. You can watch every USL game on ESPN Plus, which is really cool. So get involved, man. Sit down, watch a game. It's good for the sport. It's good for the country. And it's good for youth soccer as a whole and grassroots soccer.
Yeah, speaking of youth soccer, I saw a couple of your Lone Star kids out there. Nico and his dad were all hanging out there saying what's up. So yeah, guys, we love local soccer. I mean, I had great Twitter engagement this week, the podcast with Central Texas Lobos. We were engaging with them on Twitter, and of course FC Austin Elite too. So be looking out for a couple more local teams to be represented here on the podcast. If y'all want to come on and talk about your Austin teams or youth clubs or whatever, please email us at 90min@boxboxradio.com. Producer Chris reads through all of your emails. He will get with you on scheduling. He is the man. If you offer to bring like pizza or beer or something, you can stay however long you want. We don't care. We're not kick you out.
You can also take Mason's daily salary.
Hold on, I don't want to go that far.
$10 of it.
Yeah, I need that. I need that $10. Rent's expensive in Austin, guys.
Pass it my way. I need to pay for gas.
Yeah. Yeah, but guys, thanks again for sticking with us, listening to our incoherent ramblings about the game that we love so much. Of course, we want you guys all to have a safe Memorial Day holiday. You'll probably be listening to this on your way home from the beach or the lake or wherever you're going. But guys, thank you so much. I'm excited for more soccer in Austin or in Central Texas. And it's been fun with you guys. Travis, any parting words?
No, man. Like I said, we're excited. Great things are happening in Austin, and we're excited that local soccer is here. So whether it's Austin FC or the Bold, go out, support your local team, and grow the game.
Yeah, it's good to be back after a brief hiatus. Appreciate the shout out last week, and it's fun to be back in the studio with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for saving me from one-on-one time with this idiot. Glad to have you back, Trav.
Appreciate it, Trav.
Oh, man. Some Trav love here at the end of the podcast. Guys, we love you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys with a brand new away leg on Wednesday. Y'all have a very, very good night.